Astronauts are the pillars of American society, chosen for their dangerous and noble profession on account of their intelligence, outstanding moral character, and exceptionally close-cropped hair. Astronauts can do no wrong, at least not where the public can see them. But riding rockets doesn't automatically make you Daddy of the Year, and some of these heroes were actually kind of terrible.
Houston, we have a problem.
They have taken great leaps for mankind, but behind closed doors, these astronauts were tripping all over the moral standard. Reckless driver. In 2016, retired astronaut James Donald Halsell Jr. drove his rental car into the back of another vehicle, killing 2 children. According to CNN, the car he struck was pushed into the median and flipped at least twice before landing in the opposing lane. A tragic car accident, but it gets worse. Halsell then allegedly tried to steal the car of a bystander who stopped to help the victims. And then he told everyone he couldn't remember any of it. Halsell later told police he'd had 3 glasses of wine prior to the incident. Also, 10 empty packets of sleeping pills were found in the motel room where he was staying. Halsell was charged with 2 counts of reckless murder and 2 counts of first-degree assault for injuring the other people in the car. Diaper rash. Who could forget Lisa Nowak, respected astronaut, decorated Navy veteran, and aeronautical and astronautical engineer, who drove 950 miles to confront a romantic rival, allegedly in a diaper, to prevent any bathroom breaks. And by confront, we mean she stalked her through an airport and then pepper sprayed her.
I had to do it!
Officials planned to charge Nowak with attempted murder, but the charges were downgraded to attempted kidnapping, burglary, and misdemeanor battery. In November 2010, she pleaded guilty to felony burglary and misdemeanor battery, which gave her the noble distinction of being the first active astronaut ever convicted of a felony. Job insecurity. America's original astronauts were more than just celebrities. To say the American public worshiped them isn't really an exaggeration. NASA understood that public support was about 99% of the reason for the existence of the space program, so it made sure the astronauts projected the image that the public already had of them, even if it wasn't necessarily the truth. The first astronaut who felt the full strength of NASA's fury was Don Isley, who was fired after he divorced his wife Harriet.
Can we just leave him up there?
Guys, I can hear you. I'm right here.
Hi! Yeah, it might be a PR problem.
But Isley was being a jerk way before he signed the divorce papers. According to Lily Koppel's book, The Astronaut Wives Club, Isley rarely visited his son Matthew, who had leukemia. After the boy passed away, Isley went back to Cape Canaveral and left Harriet to grieve alone. Then he cheated on her. These are all things people shouldn't do.
Did you see the memo about this?
Worse, when Isley's wife tried to go to a psychiatrist, he said she couldn't because he'd lose his job. Not exactly a model husband and father. Family mania. 4 months before he was chosen to be an astronaut, Gordon Cooper was happily splitting his time between his work and his affair with a married woman. Eventually, his wife Trudy declared she'd had enough and walked out on him after 12 years of marriage. Trudy moved away with their 2 daughters, but pretty soon Cooper was begging her to come back. Allegedly, he wanted her back because NASA expected him to be a family man. In the Astronaut Wives Club, Lily Koppel speculated that Trudy returned so her daughters could benefit from their father's fame. At any rate, the couple stayed married until just before Cooper retired in 1970, when it apparently no longer mattered what NASA thought of his personal life. The Go-Go Crew. According to The Telegraph, Alan Shepard, the first American in space, was also an extra brazen cheater. So much so that his wife Louise earned the nickname St. Louise for her ability to smile and look the other way. Together with fellow astronauts Pete Conrad and Dick Gordon, Shepard cruised around in a gold Corvette and pranced around with, quote, multiple women hanging off his arm. They were apparently known as the Go-Go Crew.
We got a wicked shimmy up here.
Ecom TNC, these guys are talking about bangs and shimmies up there. Doesn't sound like instrumentation to me.
Incidentally, Louise and Alan Shepard's marriage was one of only 7 marriages that survived among the early astronauts. Monkey business. Man on the Moon Buzz Aldrin was famously unemotional, which simultaneously made him both a great astronaut and allegedly a terrible husband. According to the Astronaut Wives Club, In 1966, he gave his wife a pet monkey that would mock her, bare its teeth, and make obscene gestures, until finally she said either the monkey was leaving or she was. Her husband reportedly gave her a look that said, "What are you waiting for? Talk about a slap in the face." The two got divorced in 1974. Years later, Aldrin made headlines again when he sued his own children.
Aldrin is suing 2 of his children, accusing them of wanting his money and putting his legacy at risk.